Take anything up, fix your ideal, and follow it out boldly unto death. That is the way to salvation. Half heartedness never led to anything. Be superstitious, be a fanatic if you please, but be something. Be something. Show that you have something. But be not like these shilly-shalliers with truth. These jacks of all trades who just want to get a sort of nervous titillation, a dose of opium, until this desire, after the sensational, becomes a habit. The world is getting too full of such people. Contrary to the apostles who, according to Christ, were the salt of the earth, these fellows are the ashes, the dirt of the earth. So let us first clear the ground and understand what is meant by following reason. And then we will try to understand what the obstructions are to our following reason. The first obstruction to our following reason is our unwillingness to go to truth. We want truth to come to us. In all my travels, most people told me, "Oh, that is not a comfortable religion you talk about. Give us a comfortable religion." I do not understand what they mean by this comfortable religion. I was never taught any comfortable religion in my life. I want truth for my religion. Whether it be comfortable or not, I do not care. Why should truth be comfortable always? Truth many times hits hard, as we all know by our experience. Gradually, after a long intercourse with such persons, I came to find out what they meant by their stereotypical phrase. These people have gone into a rut, and they do not dare to get out of it. Truth must apologize to them. I once met a lady who was very fond of her children and her money and her everything. When I began to preach to her that the only way to God is by giving up everything, she stopped coming the next day. One day she came and told me that the reason for her staying away was because the religion I preached was very uncomfortable. What sort of religion would be comfortable to you? I asked in order to test her. She said, "I want to see God in my children, in my money, in my diamonds." "Very good, madam," I replied. "You have now got all these things, and you will have to see these things millions of years yet. Then you will be bumped somewhere and come to reason. Until that time comes, you will never come to God. In the meantime, go on seeing God in your children and in your money and your diamonds and your dances." It is difficult, almost impossible, for such people to give up sense enjoyment. It has grown upon them from birth to birth. If you ask a pig to give up his sty and to go into your most beautiful parlor, why, it will be death to the pig. "Let me go, I must live there," says the pig. So with us, the majority of mankind delights in this fish smell, this world, this enjoyment of the senses, this money and wealth and chattel and wife and children. All this nonsense of the world, this fishy smell, has grown upon us. We can hear nothing beyond it, can see nothing beyond it. Nothing goes beyond it. This is the whole universe. All this talk about heaven and God and soul means nothing to an ordinary man. He has heaven already here. He has no other idea beyond this world. When you tell him of something higher, he says, "That is not a comfortable religion. Give us something comfortable." That is to say that religion is nothing but what he is doing. If he is a thief and you tell him that stealing is the highest thing we can do, he will say, "That is a comfortable religion." If he is cheating, you have to tell him what he is doing is all right. Then he will accept your teaching as a comfortable religion. The whole trouble is that people never want to get out of their ruts, never want to get rid of the old fish basket and smell in order to live. If they say, I want the truth, that simply means that they want the fish basket. When have you reached knowledge? When you are equipped with those 4 disciplines. You must give up all desire for enjoyment, either in this life or the next. All enjoyments of this life are vain. Let them come and go as they will. What you have earned by your past actions, none can take away from you. If you have deserved wealth, you can bury yourself in the forest and it will come to you. If you have deserved good food and clothing, you may go to the North Pole and they will be brought to you. The polar bear will bring them. If you have not deserved them, you may conquer the world and will die of starvation. So why do you bother about these things? And after all, what is the use of them? As children, we all think that the world is made so very nice, and that masses of pleasures are simply waiting for our going out to them. That is every schoolboy's dream. And when he goes out into the world, the everyday world, very soon his dreams vanish. So with nations. When they see how every city is built upon ruins, every forest stands upon a city, then they become convinced of the vanity of this world. All the power of knowledge and wealth once made has passed away. All the sciences of the ancients lost forever. Nobody knows how. That teaches us a grand lesson. Vanity of vanities. All is vanity and vexation of the spirit. If we have seen all this, then we become disgusted with this world and all it offers us. This is called vairagya, non-attachment, and is the first step towards knowledge. The natural desire of man is to go towards the senses. Turning away from the senses takes him back to God. So the first lesson we have to learn is to turn away from the vanities of the world. How long will you go on sinking and diving down and going up for 5 minutes to again sink down, again come up and sink, and so on, tossed up and down? How long will you be whirled on this wheel of karma, up and down, up and down? How many thousands of times have you been kings and rulers? How many times have you been surrounded by wealth and plunged into poverty? How many thousands of times have you been possessed of the greatest powers? But again, you had to become men, rolling down on this mad rush of karma's waters. This tremendous wheel of karma stops neither for the widow's tears nor the orphan's cry. How long will you go on? How long? Will you be like that old man who had spent all his life in prison and when let out, begged to be brought back into his dark and filthy dungeon cell? This is the case with us all. We cling with all our might to this low, dark, filthy cell called this world, to this hideous, chimerical existence where we are kicked about like a football by every wind that blows. We are slaves in the hands of nature, slaves to a bit of bread, slaves to praise, slaves to blame, slaves to wife, to husband, to child, slaves to everything. Why, I go about all over the world, beg, steal, rob, do anything to make happy a boy who is perhaps an ugly looking rascal. I will do every wicked thing to make him happy. Why? Because I am his father. And at the same time, there are millions and millions of boys in this world dying of starvation. Boys beautiful in body and in mind. But they are nothing to me. Let them all die. I am apt to kill them all to save this one rascal to whom I have given birth. This is what you call love. Not I. Not I. This is brutality. There are millions of women, beautiful in body and mind, good, gentle, virtuous, dying of starvation this minute. I do not care for them at all. But that Jenny who is mine, who beats me 3 times a day and scolds me the whole day, for that Jenny I am going to beg, borrow, cheat, and steal so that she will have a nice gown. Do you call that love? Not I. This is mere desire, animal desire, nothing more. Turn away from these things. Is there no end to these hideous dreams? Put a stop to them. When the mind comes to that state of disgust with all the vanities of life, it is called turning away from nature. This is the first step. All desires must be given up, even the desire of getting heaven. What are these heavens anyhow? Places where to sing psalms all the time. What for? To live there and have a nice healthy body with phosphorescent light or something of this kind coming out of every part, with a halo around the head, and with wings and the power to penetrate the wall. If there be powers, they must pass away sooner or later. If there is a heaven, as there may be many heavens with various grades of enjoyment, there cannot be a body that lives forever. Death will overtake us, even there. Every conjunction must have a disjunction. No body, finer or coarser, can be manufactured without particles of matter coming together. Whenever two particles come together, they are held by a certain attraction, and there will come a time when those particles will separate. This is the eternal law. So wherever there is a body, either grosser or finer, either in heaven or on earth, death will overcome it. Therefore, all desires of enjoyment in this life or in a life to come should be given up. People have a natural desire to enjoy, and when they do not find their selfish enjoyments in this life, they think that after death, they will have a lot of enjoyment somewhere else. If these enjoyments do not take us towards knowledge in this life, in this world, how can they bring us knowledge in another life?